Okay, I'm just going to get started now. We seem to have a good few of our attendees ready to go. I'll just start by introducing myself. My name is Laura Egan O'Brien. I'm the Marketing Manager for the College of Engineering and Architecture here in UCD. I'm joined by some of my colleagues today. I'm going to introduce them in a second. I just want to first start by welcoming everyone to the first of UCD College of Engineering and Architecture's virtual talk graduate event series. Today we'll be hearing from Professor Colm O'Donnell, who is the head of our School of Biosystems and Food Engineering. We'll also be hearing from Professor Ken Stanton, who is the head of our School of Mechanical and Materials Engineering. Today they're going to be talking us through some of the top master's programs that are available within their respective schools. And they'll also be able to answer any questions that you might have towards the end of the session. I'll be available for the Q&A also, as well as my colleague Katie O'Neill, who will be joining us at that stage also. Some of you may have heard from myself or Katie during your process of applying to us. Just some housekeeping notes before we get started. For the best viewing experience, if you want to make sure you're in speaker view mode, which you can toggle just in the right-hand corner of your screen, if it's not like that already. Also, you can ask us any questions throughout the session by using the Q&A button in the control panel at the bottom. If the questions come to you, just type them in, but we'll leave it to the end before we answer the questions. And also just to let you know, we'll be recording the session today, so I can share that recording with you after the event. And I think that's me done as far as introductions go. So we'll kick off with Professor Colm O'Donnell, who, as I said, is from our School of Biosystems and Food Engineering.
Thank you, Laura. My name is Colm O'Donnell. I'm head of the School of Biosystems and Food Engineering. We're a school comprising about 15 faculty, 18 researchers, and about 210 students. And this afternoon, I'd like to speak to you about our 4 graduate taught programs. Our programs then are available for either a 1 or a 2 year time period, depending on your prior degrees. The first program I'd like to talk to you today about is our Emmy Program in Biosystems and Food Engineering program. This is a master's program aimed at graduates in an engineering discipline who wish to avail of an opportunity to specialize in the application of engineering science and design to biological materials and systems, particularly in the areas of food process engineering, sustainable and bioenergy, and in the whole area of environmental protection. The career opportunities for graduates in this program are very strong, and generally in the areas of food processing and also of biological materials processing, environmental protection, and waste management, and sustainable energies and green technologies. The program, which is a 2-year program for graduates who have a 3-year degree in engineering, or may be offered as a 1-year 90-credit program for students who have completed 4 years of engineering studies. The program then is offered by a research active faculty or professors who would also supervise a student project in the area over the course of the studies. The program has a range of modules based in the areas of, there's a strong core in unit operations, environmental engineering, measurement and instrumentation, and then a range of options depending on whether the student would like to specialize in an environmental area or perhaps in a food processing area. The program also includes an internship opportunity where students would work with an industry partner over a 6 or 8 month period, either in Ireland or internationally. In terms of the career opportunities, previous employers of graduates in this program include bioprocess and food processing and beverage companies, environmental protection and waste management companies, and companies in the area of sustainable energy, bioenergy, and green technology. So again, that's an ME, Biosystems and Food Engineering, targeted at engineering graduates, and is offered as a 1 or 2 year program. And again, it's a full-time program of study. The second master's program I'd like to talk to you today about is our Masters of Engineering Science in Food Engineering. This is a graduate level 1 year, 12-month program. And this program is targeted at graduates who wish to specialize in food engineering, particularly in the area of bioprocess and food manufacturing systems engineering. It is open to graduates in engineering and science areas who are interested in specializing in food and bioprocess engineering, and in areas such as risk assessment, maybe process development, advanced manufacturing systems, along with associated environmental issues. This 1 year taught program in food engineering then is taught by faculty from our school who are very active in the area of food engineering in terms of industrial projects and international collaboration studies. In terms of career opportunities, graduates from this program generally go directly to employment with large food processing companies or large beverage companies in the areas of process development or process optimization. Also, a lot of our graduates in this program, having completed their 30 credit project, which is completed over a 3-month period, frequently go on for PhD studies. And every year we have about a dozen vacancies for PhD students to join our school and undertake research over a 3 or 4 year program. And we find this is the project which is integrated in this master's program is very good to give the students a taste of what it's like to do a PhD. And again, it's quite a percentage over the years have gone on to complete PhDs in the area. In terms of the subjects you would cover in this 1 year program in food engineering, you would study engineering principles, life cycle assessment, advanced food process engineering, some projects there in terms of safety, in terms of risk assessment, shelf life, food refrigeration engineering, and also then the mandatory research thesis module. So to summarize then, our MNGSC Food Engineering 1 year taught program for graduates in engineering and science, and employment opportunities are particularly strong with food companies in the area of food processing and beverage manufacture. The third program I'd like to talk about today is our 1 year full-time Masters in Sustainable Energy and Green Technologies. So again, this is a 12-month program allowing students who are graduates in a relevant science or engineering discipline an opportunity to focus then on the development and optimization of renewable and energy resource exploitation. Other areas, the environmental impacts of different energy systems, process optimization, energy systems technology development, and also some areas then in process development from an engineering efficiency perspective and bioenergy. The course is delivered by a group of faculty in our school who lead a wide portfolio of research projects in this area, which ensures the timelessness and relevance of the projects which are offered. The modules which the students on this program cover topics such as energy systems integration, life cycle assessment, biorefinery processing and technology, research and teaching methods, and again, a project where you would select the topic proposed by the program director with one of the faculty who teach on the module, and over the course of a 3 or 4 month period, then you will complete that project in conjunction with your supervisor. Again, graduates from this 12-month taught program frequently find employment in the whole areas of regulators, bioenergy companies, engineering design consultancies. And again, a number of our students from this program have gone on to complete PhD studies in our school with the faculty who offer programs on this. In terms of the focus of the program, so the focus then is the target market is aimed at science and engineering graduates who would like to work in the whole area of sustainable energy and perhaps the impact of different energy choices on the environment. So there are modules in there on sustainable energy and the impact on the environment. Again, a range of modules, range of assessments, group projects. So it's quite a varied range of assessment and teaching delivery offered in that module. And also a number of guest lecturers from industry who were involved in implementing and developing new energy solutions are incorporated into this program. So again, that's our Masters in Sustainable Energy and Green Technologies. It's a 12-month, one-year program offered to graduates in relevant engineering and science disciplines. So the final program I'd like to talk about today is our Masters in Environmental Technology. Again, this is a 12-month program. And the program addresses the demand for graduates who have the skill to develop technological solutions for air, water, and soil protection in existing and emerging sectors. So again, the program covers topics such as environmental engineering, risk assessment, air pollution, waste management, life cycle assessment, the whole area of buildings, energy systems, and sustainable development. This program is again offered by faculty who are very active in the area in terms of leading European projects in environmental technology. Again, a project is embedded in this one-year taught Masters. In terms of career opportunities, graduates from this program, from the survey carried out by the program director, have obtained career opportunities in regulatory agencies such as environmental protection authorities, environmental consultancies, industry, and research. In terms of the program outcomes, the students get good experience of, say, relevant health and safety associated with the various environments. A lot of the assessments allow students the opportunity to get experience working both in teams and individually. Communication is built in terms of both oral and written assessment. And essentially the bottom line then, they will get experience in the scientific and engineering disciplines governing environmental technologies, particularly in relation to sustainable development. And the list of companies I have here where previous graduates obtained employment would be public services, research, engineering consultancy, and environmental regulation. So to summarize then, that's our environmental technology program. Again, a 12-month program, mixture of modules over 2 semesters and a project over the final semester. And again, if you have any queries, details of this program and the other 3 programs I mentioned, they're available on our school and college websites. And as head of the school, I will be available. If you have any queries, please contact me or any of the individual program directors directly, whose details are on our website. Thank you.
Okay, I guess it's over to me then, if Colm is finished. And I'll let Laura stop me if I'm jumping at the wrong time, but otherwise I'll just carry on. Thank you all for coming. It's unusual for us because we don't get to see who's here or how many people are here, but we'll do our best. So my name is Ken Stanton, so I'm the head of school for the School of Mechanical and Materials Engineering. We are the largest school of engineering at UCD, and I guess probably the largest school of our type in the country. We have around 29 academic staff, 45 researchers, around 80 PhD students, and over 500 full-time equivalent students in our programs at present. We have a high degree of industrial relevance in pretty much everything that we do. We have, and I guess arising from that are some of the large research activities going on, such as the SFI IFORM Center for Additive Manufacturing that we have. It has its base within our school. So, for example, that research unit is currently undertaking 3D printing of personal protective equipment for the HSE, and there's some nice stories about that on the UCD website if you want to go and check that out to see the kinds of things that we can do when called to. Excuse me. Another notable area of research in our school is the lab of Professor Fengzhou Fang, who's an SFI research professor in the area of precision manufacturing. And of course, that has a high degree of industrial relevance as well. We are accredited for many of our programs, though not all, but all relevant programs are accredited by Engineers Ireland, ensuring that there's full international applicability of our programs. So if you want to go and work as an engineer, you can travel with these qualifications. Also then our one of our Emmys, the one in Material Science and Engineering, is accredited by the Institute of Materials, Minerals and Mining in the UK as well. So just like Colm did, I'll just take you through the programs. I will say that on the UCD website, there are pretty good web pages for all of these, which outline in detail who the programs are open to, some background, course descriptions, what modules you can take, entry requirements, and career opportunities as well. So the first one then I'll just deal with is the MNGSC in Material Science and Engineering. That is one I know very well personally because I set it up probably about 7 or 8 years ago. This is a 1-year, I guess you'd call it like a conversion program in material science and engineering for people who have a prior degree either in engineering and liked what they were doing in materials but maybe didn't get enough of it. But it's also open to people with strong cognate physical sciences backgrounds. So we've had some very successful students from physics and from chemistry backgrounds, and also from, I would say, many different engineering backgrounds. So we've had electronic engineers, and we've had mechanical engineers, design engineers, those kinds of things as well as people who maybe had a prior qualification in something like polymer science and wanted to broaden what they do. Within this MNGSC in Material Science and Engineering, we don't focus so much on topics like nanomaterials that you may see, for example, in the School of Chemistry. We focus very much on real world materials. And I guess one of the good case studies of that would be our relationship with biomedical device companies such as Dupuis Synthes in Cork or Stryker, or indeed companies like Boston Scientific and Medtronic. When you look at those companies, they're all manufacturing precision devices of high value and high importance to our economy, but they're manufacturing them from metals. And they're manufacturing them from quite advanced metals and using quite advanced processes, and so some level of deeper understanding is necessary to understand how to process them and how to ensure that you get the engineering properties that you need after going through your manufacturing process. So that MNJSC, Material Science and Engineering, is a one-year program, and it's not accredited. So when I say 1 year, it is literally from September to September, with modules being taken in trimester, the autumn trimester, the spring trimester, as we call them here, and then with a 30 credit project over the summer. The next program I would like to talk about is the ME in Material Science and Engineering. So this is a 2-year accredited program. So this is accredited by both Institute of Materials and Engineers Ireland. This again has been taken by people with a relatively wide range of engineering and cognate physical sciences backgrounds. Its primary differentiator from the MNJC, obviously it's 2 years rather than 1, but within that 2 years, there's an internship in industry. So students will come, do 1 semester of classes, and then also do interviews in that first semester. And then in semester 2, they'll go on their internship, generally continue that internship right up to August, or usually August of that year. Then come back to UCD and then do another year of classes, but also with a fairly large capstone project. So a research project, not just a kind of build a better mousetrap, design and build type of project, but a focus on doing master's level research. Graduates from that are, it's fair to say, very highly sought after. And when I go on visits to companies like Dupuy or to Stryker, I literally can't walk 50 feet without meeting a graduate somewhere. Again, the focus is on real world materials for real world devices, and not so much highly experimental or upstream type things like nanotechnology or tissue engineering. The focus is on metals, metallurgy, polymers, composites, semiconductor materials as well, and ceramics, so functional and structural ceramics. The next program I just want to talk about is the ME in Mechanical Engineering. So again, like the ME in Material Science and Engineering, so all our MEs have a similar structure. First semester is classes, do interviews. Second semester, you go on internship, stay on internship generally over the summer, then come back, do another year, some classes, but also taking a large capstone project. The ME in Mechanical Engineering, as you might imagine, focuses on advanced mechanical engineering topics in fluid dynamics, mechanics, computational continuum mechanics, also some design, and then with a fair degree of option in there as well to take some advanced materials type classes as well. Mechanical engineering, the graduates from that can go to many different routes in the automotive sector, in energy sector, biomedical device sector. Quite a lot of mechanical engineering graduates as well will go to companies like Intel and focus on manufacturing, precision manufacturing processes. So it's very hard to pin down exactly what the mechanical engineering graduate does. It's quite a broad qualification that enables you to go into many things. The next Emmy I'd like to talk about is the Emmy in Energy Systems. And as you might imagine, that has a focus on energy and green energy and energy usage. We share this program, we share a lot of modules with the School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. So this really is a kind of a more interdisciplinary program that has topics related to mechanical engineering and energy usage there, but also then some of the electrical engineering aspects behind the grid and emerging green energy solutions. So the next ME is in biomedical engineering. Again, with this, we share this once again with our School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. So there are quite a lot of options within that program to take modules that are leaning more towards signal analysis and topics like deep brain stimulation and EEG and electrical signals arising from the body, or to go more the mechanical engineering, materials engineering, devices type route, which would include aspects of device design and biocompatibility, etc. So then we have 3 programs. So actually, I should just maybe just backtrack a little bit and just say that within UCD, we have what's called a subject register, and we have different subjects defined. And so our school has 4 subjects associated with it. And those are the subjects of material science and engineering. And as we've seen, we have an ME and MNJC within that. We have the subject, obviously, of mechanical engineering. We have then the subject of biomedical engineering that we share with electrical and electronic engineering, that school. And then finally, we have a subject called systems engineering. And the systems engineering subject really incorporates the next 3 programs that I want to talk about. And those are the MNJC in engineering management, the ME in engineering with business, and the MEM management, which is a sort of part-time program. It might seem that the titles are all very similar, but in actual fact, they do achieve quite different things. It is worth, I guess, pointing out that for the last few years, when graduates leave UCD with an engineering qualification, more of them leave with a systems engineering qualification than any other subject. And so these 3 programs are really quite successful. So taking them in turn then, we have the MNJC in engineering management. That is a 1-year unaccredited or not accredited program. It appeals very strongly historically with overseas students, but also with EU and Irish students as well. So it's a sort of 1-year, I guess, conversion type program for people who have that technical foundation. So a foundation technical degree, an engineering degree predominantly, and who want to then incorporate some aspects of supply chain management and manufacturing systems and processes, statistical process control, a lot of those things that companies these days actually really, really want. So that MNJC in engineering management is a 1-year way of doing that. Again, 1 full kind of calendar year. You start in September, you take classes through 2 semesters, and then you do an industrially relevant and usually industrially defined project during the summer. The next ME is the engineering with business. So this is again an ME 2-year accredited, so it's accredited by Engineers Ireland, accredited program. as before, take classes for 1 semester, then you go, no, sorry, actually, in this one, it's a little different. You take classes for 2 semesters, then you go on internship, then you come back, and I might be corrected on this, is what I understand. So you take classes for 2 semesters, then you go on internship, and then you come back to UCD the following January and you finish out. So once again, Emmy Engineering Business, it's currently the largest program in UCD engineering. And this is not only because of people coming from outside UCD to take this program, but also because of internal students who come through our traditional 3+2 system, who go into that program. They still will do enough technical modules to be qualified proper engineers. So there are different flavors of the Emmy Engineering Business. So you can go a mechanical stream, there's a civil stream, electrical stream. I would have to check. In fact, I just realized I don't know the full number of streams associated with it, but I'm sure that's on the webpage. Suffice it to say that it mixes, again, some of those types of modules and skill sets and learnings around supply chain management, manufacturing systems, quality systems, etc. And it has a fair degree of those associated with the program, as well as ensuring that the engineering is covered. So the students on that who go on internship will go to a very wide variety of places. So not just things like engineering consultants or management consultants, although some do go to those types of companies, but also they are still very attractive to the likes of Depuy, Synthes, or Intel, etc. So that's the Emmy Engineering with Business. And then finally, we have the MEM Management. This is actually a very old program. It's existed for a long time, I think nearly 60 years now. And this one really is for practicing engineers. In other words, people who graduated maybe a few years ago have some engineering experience. They are in full-time employment, but want to get a master's in a way that's friendly to their working schedule. So typically, students for this, again, so they'll be working, have some years experience. They come and take classes on a Friday afternoon and on a Saturday morning. And they'll do that part-time executive type education model, Friday afternoon, Saturday mornings. They do that for 2 years. As I understand it, the program director and also head of subject, so the program director for the MEM Management is in this webinar somehow. I think you're going to get a chance to ask him questions at the end. That's Associate Professor Vincent Hargaden. He also is the head of subject for systems engineering, so he can probably talk to the MNJC Engineering Management, the ME Engineering with Business, and also this MEM in Management. So I'll leave it at that and hand over to whoever comes next as we do this.
So that'll be me again. Thanks, Ken and Colm. Thank you very much for giving us an overview of the programs. I hope our attendees found it very interesting and valuable. We have had a bit of chatter on our Q&A control here. My colleague Katie O'Neill has answered a couple of them for us, but there's some that I'm going to throw out to the wider audience, and maybe Ken and Colm that you might be able to answer for us. There has been a couple of questions just related to the current, obviously, situation around COVID-19, what's happening with our current students, their internship placements, and maybe how that will be impacted going forward, and for applicants who are hoping to come to us in September. If Ken or Colm, you want to maybe talk through what your experience is at the moment and what's currently going on in your schools.
Okay, well, I'll go first, but I think it's a little bit too early to say because of the journey that different countries are on with regard to the COVID-19 crisis, and how where we are with respect to the kind of maximum of the epidemic. We don't, each country doesn't yet, or certainly our country doesn't yet have a plan for exactly when we're going to exit this or how we're going to exit it. So things are still emerging. I guess the best advice is for people to continue to make their applications in good faith, and hope that things resolve themselves in the next month or two. For all of the existing programs, we have successfully moved all of our teaching and learning online. So no students have been left stranded by this who are currently here. So what's not clear to us just yet is whether we will start as planned in September, potentially with some elements online, or whether a start date might be pushed back. I shouldn't be even saying this stuff out loud because I don't want to start rumors. But I guess it's not quite clear at the moment. Also, each individual country has different approaches to allowing travel, either outbound or inbound, and so it's very difficult to say exactly what's going to happen just now. I mean, we're at the point of the epidemic where, in terms of the kind of curve, we're sort of kind of halfway or 2/3 of the way up the slope, but we don't quite know what the timing is at the other end and what we're going to be allowed to do. I'll leave it at that, and I'll invite some of my other colleagues to say something if they have better information than I do, or better side of what.
I might just interject there, if you don't mind. Firstly, hello to everybody. My name's Katie O'Neill. I've been on email with plenty of you, so it's nice to virtually meet you. I think what Ken is saying is correct. This is a fluid situation. The university have responded in a very responsible manner in line with what's been mandated by our government, and we are still all working. Our students are still studying and completing their degrees, albeit in a slightly different manner than we all would have expected. What I have posted on the webinar chat is a link to our FAQs, which has a lot of very interesting information, both for current students, so you can see how the situation is being handled for our current students, and also for our future students who have a lot of questions around whether we will start on time, whether if they need a visa or they need English language requirements, or if they're waiting on transcripts from their university, if they have conditional offers, how we're currently handling that. So a lot of those questions are answered. Currently, we are working towards an expectation of back open in September as normal. However, this is a fluid situation and we will respond accordingly. So I do think the FAQs answer a lot of the questions, but if there's any not, please feel free to email both myself and Laura, and we'll pop our email addresses up in the webinar chat if that's okay.
Great, thank you, Katie, and thank you, Ken. We've also had another question, just moving on from that, particularly related to sustainable energy and green technologies. If Colm, you want to field that, it's just around what the job opportunities and career opportunities are for this particular master's. And this student in particular has a background in solar and wind power plant energy.
Right. So approximately 20 students per year do this program, Sustainable Energy and Green Technologies, both a mix of EU and non-EU students, so it is truly an international grouping. So in terms of career opportunities, I'm just getting the list here of where our past graduates have worked or obtained employment. The bioenergy has been one large area. Also engineering consultancies, companies like Siemens have taken graduates. So a mix between both local or smaller energy companies, energy equipment suppliers, engineering consultancies, regulatory agencies, Sustainable Energy Authority of Ireland. So really a mix between public, private, and really kind of all stakeholders in the energy sphere. So depending maybe on the student choice of project, the student background, they'll be more suitable for employment maybe in different sectors. But certainly energy is a very active area in terms of career opportunities.
Great, thanks. Colm, I'm just leading on from that. We've also had a question just around the differences between our environmental energy, green technologies, and our Emmy Energy Systems Masters as well. The students that might pursue either of them, or maybe the differences in content.
Different, yeah. The Sustainable Energy and Green Technology Masters, that's a 12-month program aimed at graduates who have completed 4-year honours degrees. So it's open to graduates in relevant engineering and scientific, who have relevant engineering and scientific degrees. So it's a broad program. It's not accredited with an engineering institution. It's a broader program and has a mixture of both business, scientific, and engineering modules built into it. Maybe Ken might like to comment upon the ME program.
Unmute myself first. Yeah, so as Colm sort of alluded to, the ME in Energy Systems is a 2-year program with an internship, and it is accredited as well. The fact that we, as the School of Mechanical and Materials Engineering, effectively kind of share this program with the School of Electrical Electronic Engineering, would probably bring the course content, and again it is on the website, but brings the content more towards energy creation, energy distribution, with an eye on things like environmental factors. So it's very much I guess focused on the hard physical energy infrastructure, both for things like national grids and power generation, but then also things like power generation and consumption in things like electrical vehicles or even traditional vehicles as well. So, you know, recognizing that School of Biosystems Engineering has a focus on things like food and agriculture, you can see how issues of environment and energy would fit squarely within that realm, but then we complement that with that sort of I guess power generation, power distribution, power consumption type of program.
Great, thank you both. We've also got another question just around sustainable energy and green technologies, but I think it's applicable to most of the programs. It is a question I've got asked before. It's in relation to the research project. Is there opportunities for the research projects to be done in collaboration with industry? And how are the topics chosen? Do students get input as far as the topics that they can do for these research projects?
Certainly. So on our Sustainable Energy and Green Technology program, there's a 30-credit thesis module, and the topic for that thesis then is selected by students from a list of projects submitted by the professors who contribute to the program. There's also an option then for students to suggest their own proposed thesis topic, and they will be assigned a relevant professor if that's deemed appropriate. Most of the faculty and professors then would have a portfolio of research projects with industry, and where possible, students are afforded an opportunity to carry out their proposed topic, research topic, in conjunction with industry. That could involve going down, getting data, running experiments, or other type of collaboration. But certainly we're open and encourage interaction with industry during the completion of their project.
Great, thanks. And Ken, I assume it would be the same for any programs within the School of Mechanical and Materials Engineering?
Yeah, it is worth noting that a lot of the programs I've described are ME programs, which that have these internships. I would say around 2/3 of the students who return from internship to begin their project bring a project back from industry with them. So they will have had an opportunity to talk to their employers and the engineering teams that they were embedded in to define something interesting, and they continue that relationship on for their project for their final year. It is also worth noting as well, and this is for all of the MEs across all of engineering, it's not just for our school, but around 70% of our ME students who go on internship get offered a graduate position by the company that they did their internship with, and around 55% of them take those positions. So for the MEs in particular, that relationship with industry for project and also for subsequent employment is very much defined by the experiences in the internship. It's very powerful relationships that we develop.
Great. And then Ken, sticking with yourself, the ME Mechanical Engineering, there was a question just related to, is it quite a broad subject as far as master's goes, and is there any disadvantage or advantages to sticking with a broad subject rather than specializing further?
No, I mean, no, absolutely not. There's no disadvantage at all. From what I understand from a lot of employers, it's regarded as an advantage, you know, that you have that sort of benchmark, you know, master's degree in mechanical engineering. So it's always taken as extremely strong, unless, of course, the employers are looking for somebody to go into something, you know, that is quite a niche position. So, for example, if somebody's looking for a metallurgist, they will look to somebody from the ME Material Science Engineering as opposed to somebody from the ME Mechanical Engineering. But if they're looking for somebody to do, you know, manufacturing processes, I imagine that the mechanical engineering graduate would be more attractive. You know, a lot of employers do take, especially if they're at quite an advanced technological level of achievement within what they do. And to be fair, a lot of the employers in Ireland are like that. They will undertake, you know, to train people a little bit further to be specialized in the positions that they're employed for. So within that context, quite often it's good to have a broad background. You know, ultimately, engineers are numerate problem solvers, you know, and I think that's the attraction for employers. And also, I don't think employers get so hung up on specific degree programs as much as we might think. They're often looking for somebody who is clearly highly motivated, presents themselves well, and can demonstrate that they can work effectively in a team. And of course, all of those aspects are incorporated within our programs as well.
Great, and we've just got one or two questions on the MNJC Engineering Management Program also, just whether it's suitable for the likes of an IT engineer or someone coming from an information technology background, and maybe some of the course content related to the Engineering Management Program.
Yeah, well, I see Vincent Hargaden has unmuted himself, so I will hand over to him for this.
Defer to my inferior knowledge. Okay, so the first one was the IT background, IT engineering. So the MNJC in Engineering Management, it's designed as a broad master's degree program that will take any qualified engineer with a bachelor's degree, whether that is in mechanical engineering, electrical, electronics, civil, software, IT engineering. So what we do is then we take a series of modules that are relevant across the engineering sector. So, you know, anybody with a STEM background is suitable for this program. The types of modules that are taken, so you take 5 modules in autumn and 5 modules in spring. So your autumn modules would include supply chain design and analysis, engineering decision support systems, robotics and simulation, organizational behavior, and then in the spring semester you do operations management, marketing, business information systems, Lean Six Sigma, and then in the summer term you take 1 intensive module on design and innovation. So that's delivered over a 3 to 4 week period, and then you spend the rest of the summer period from kind of mid-June to the end of August working on a group applied industrial project, almost like a consultancy project rather than a classical, you know, research thesis. And those projects are set up with specific companies. Students are obviously free to arrange their own company that they want to do their project with, but obviously that has to be approved by the program director. But for the vast majority of the projects, the program director and the academics arrange the contacts with the companies.
Great, thanks, Vincent. I think that's everything as far as engineering management goes that I can see there at the moment. I did get asked a question around students who may be worried about the current situation as far as COVID-19 goes, deferring their offer. What I would say to students who are asking that is you can either email myself or Katie after this. Katie put our contact details in the chat there, and just we can discuss your options with you. There are options to defer, or we can extend your offer acceptance dates to a further date where we know kind of a bit more information. But for those students, I would just send myself and Katie an email after this, and we can follow up with you related to that. Some other questions were as far as finding internships, the support's available to students who are looking for internships if they're on an Emmy program. If you want to elaborate on that, either Ken or Colm.
I'm happy to take that one. We have 2 full-time internship managers who handle all of that for us. So they will, well, first of all, they run little mini programs in CV development and interview skills. The companies tend to these days compete for our students. So they're in high demand. There are companies out there who want to take our students on, but who turn up too late and don't get any. Even companies like Logitech fell into that sort of position this year. So typically, there's no problem finding placements for students at all, and it's all done by and through our internship managers who can facilitate everything from, you know, as I say, CV preparation right through to interviews, and they also manage the process of staying in touch with the students and the assessment, etc. afterward, the internship as well. So it's all done.
Great, thank you. And then also in relation to, we got 1 or 2 questions around part-time options. So I can answer that for them. As far as part-time options go, we don't have a lot within the College of Engineering and Architecture. The majority of our ME programs are full-time. They're quite intensive, and also that work placement option cannot be done part-time. The programs that we do have are the MEM, so the Masters of Engineering Management, which Ken spoke about earlier, and also we have an MEM in Food Engineering Management as well. They're truly part-time programs. Students do have to have work experience before they can make an application to those. Other part-time programs we have will be discussed at our other sessions throughout the week. So we have a couple in civil engineering also, that'll be discussed at, I think, one of our sessions on Tuesday next week. But as far as the ME Energy Systems, which I think was specifically asked, that is not a part-time program. It can only be done in a full-time capacity. And then I think one more question was regarding academic modules related to sustainable energy and green technologies. Obviously, there will be some that are mandatory, and then there are obviously some that would be optional as well. Around Colm, if you want to discuss some of the optional modules or some of the
yeah, I suppose the fact that 1/3 of the program is your research project. So that means that 1/3 of your time completing your program, you have a huge input into selecting a topic with a supervisor in an area that you want to specialize in. So, you know, almost by design, our program is 1/3 student choice. Now, in addition to that, if I look through our list of modules, the remaining modules are in areas such as life cycle assessment, and again, a lot of the assignments with that module and the case studies you complete, you pick the product, you pick the process. So there's a huge amount of flexibility and opportunity to specialize in an area of most interest. However, the core modules, they are specified. So it's only options within those modules where there's opportunities for student choice.
Great. And Colm, do you know some of the companies that our students have gone to work for as far as our, or some of the projects that our industry partners have been for the sustainable energy and green technologies? That students have worked with those for the research projects?
Yeah, I know the projects, I know Siemens have carried out work with our colleagues, with some of our supervisors, companies like Bord Namona, some of the engineering consultancies, Sustainable Energy Ireland, and some of the biorefinery companies as part of Sustainable Energy Ireland. Opportunities have been availed of there, and also project management.
Great. Thank you very much to both of you. I think we've nearly answered pretty much all the questions that our students have put in the chat. What I would say is, as Katie has done, she's put up myself and her email addresses in the chat. So any questions that we haven't answered now or you want followed up with, just send us an email. I'll also follow up with the recording of today and also a couple of links as well. Katie, I know, put up the link to where you can find out frequently asked questions about COVID-19. So I'll put that in an email to yourselves also, just in case anyone still has any questions around that. But thank you very much to everyone for participating. Thank you, Ken, and thank you, Colm. Vincent, thank you for joining us for the Q&A, and Katie, also thank you for joining us. And that's going to be us signing off for today. I might see some of you for our couple of other sessions coming up, and we look forward to seeing you for that.
Thanks, Laura, and thanks to all the attendees.
Yeah,
No problem.
thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. See you.
Bye.
Bye.